Day one of the official campaign, and the establishment, the mainstream media, led by an endorsement in the Times newspaper, and the Tory grandees are doing all they can to convince us that Boris backstabbing globalist fishy Rishi Sunak just must be the next Prime Minister. Problem is, we're not listening to them anymore. In fact, a just-released YouGov poll of Conservative Party members shows Liz Truss extending her lead over Sunak by a margin of 62% to 38%, while just 4 in 10 Tory members say Rishi Sunak can be trusted to tell the truth. That's compared to fewer than 2 in 10 who say the same thing of Liz Truss. Of course, there must be no complacency from Team Truss. 6 weeks is a long time in politics. But I've said since the moment Sunak spearheaded the political assassination of Boris Johnson, he was finished amongst Tory loyalists. And the revelations that he had been plotting to knife the PM for 6 months, even registering his campaign website in December and failing to make speedy decisions in Cabinet, I mean, that's just made this mission impossible, in my view. So while Sunak focuses on electability, the Tory base prize loyalty and a commitment to the party's values. A small state, low tax philosophy is key to those principles. Being the Chancellor who increased the UK's tax burden to the highest it's been in 70 years is yet another disqualifying factor. Of course, the media, though, have been on a campaign to trip up Truss, the most experienced member of Cabinet, over her assertion she can reverse the national insurance hike, for example, without causing inflationary pressure. But she came out on top after this exchange with BBC Rottweiler Nick Robinson on the Today programme this morning, who was hoping for a gotcha moment, but was owned by the Foreign Secretary. Watch.
My tax cuts will decrease inflation.
Really?
Because what they do...
Can you point to a single Chancellor, a single Governor of the Bank of England, single leading economist who thinks that cutting taxes with borrowed money does anything other than increase inflation?
Patrick Minford, who's written an article about it this weekend.
There's one. There's one. But he is distinguished in many ways, but he is not what I just listed. He is not one of the leading economic thinkers in this country.
Nick, we have had a consensus of the Treasury, of economists, of the Financial Times, of other outlets peddling a particular type of economic policy for the last 20 years.
Let's just be honest about something. The media is in the tank for Sunak. So be certain there's going to be hit job after hit job on Truss over the next 6 weeks. And if she becomes Prime Minister, they will attempt to destroy her just like they succeeded with Boris. But as Patrick O'Flynn wrote in The Spectator today, the prospect of Liz Truss becoming the United Kingdom's 3rd female Prime Minister is antagonising all the right people. Almost the entire Remainer establishment, including state-sponsored leftist comedians, professors of European studies, A.C. Grayling, senior figures at the Times newspaper, Irish government insiders, is recoiling at the thought. It is only partly as a result of this that I find myself thawing towards her, if not quite warming, and hoping that she defeats Rishi Sunak when the votes of the wider Conservative membership are counted in early September. Do you know, it always amazes me just how out of touch the MSM are with voters. ITV's Paul Brand tweeted his astonishment at a focus group of Tory members in Bury North who were outraged by the way Boris was deposed. He tweeted, "Interesting to hear Liz Truss this morning sounding as loyal as possible to Boris Johnson. Yesterday, we met members in the Red Wall seat of Bury North for whom loyalty was very important. Only a small sample, but was struck by the clarity of opinion. Firstly, they were all adamant they don't want Sunak. They perceive him, as one put it, as a backstabber. They also think Liz Truss was planning her bid for leader for some time, but gave her credit for waiting until Boris Johnson had resigned. Because she's, quote, a genuine person." No sugar, Sherlock. The media and establishment might love Sunak for the way he ousted Boris, but ordinary folk now view him as a disloyal snake, slick with his sound bites, but not to be trusted.